Hey everyone, it is Eric and it is Nick, and we are back from the B.F.E. GP at High Plains Raceway in Colorado, and as usual, all of the racers brought great themes, great bribes, and just a great atmosphere to the Colorado race. Well, mostly good themes anyway.
Yeah, you had Blue Falcon Racing in their Mercedes, and their theme involved wearing diapers to tech. That was nightmare fuel. They were the Karen car last year, which was a good theme.
Excuse me, no photographs, please. Put the camera away. I want to talk to your manager.
They're coming.
Excuse me.
Too close. Stay out of my face. Did you ask me
know
to
who I am, and you should have listened to her.
The cops are on their way. Dare you?
She's on the phone with the police right now.
And this time they had some kind of marshmallow firing squad as part of their tech inspection routine. It was actually painful. Judge Chrissy got shot and bruised. Bad idea as a bribe for the judges.
Slightly less damaging, but still pretty weird, was Drop Bear Murphy's presentation during BS inspection. Now let's explain Drop Bear Murphy's for a moment. There was an old-timey wrestler named Dropkick Murphy, and of course there was then a band from Boston named after the wrestler called Dropkick Murphys, but drop bears are koalas, so they mashed up this wrestler and punk band and koala bears to make the Drop Bear Murphys. They actually ended up at the wrong place the wrong time on Saturday and crunched the front of their BMW. They had to pull some structural stuff out, replace the radiator, but they were good to go right after that.
And then we had Grumpy Cat Racing in their 1940 whatever Dodge truck. They had a first-time driver, Josh. He spun the car and rolled it up onto the passenger side door. Now, as you know, the Lemons rollover rules are, if you put the car on the roof, we don't care how it happened, you're out for a year. That seems harsh. It has reduced our number of rollovers by a significant margin. So that's the deal. Fortunately for Josh, this was just a tip and not a rollover. He didn't wind up on his roof. He's not going to be banned for a year. And we think this actually fixed the truck as opposed to making it worse.
A little but terrible Savage Orchid Racing, former Halloween Meets Gasoline winners, by the way, brought a second car for the very first time, and they were very quickly punished for that decision when the trailer for the second car, a Datsun 280ZX, took a crap on the way to the track and left them on the side of the road. They eventually sorted out their trailer situation and showed up for BS inspection with this slightly confusing but still excellent theme. We've come to expect this from these guys. Both the trailer and the confusing theme and broken cars and all that. So, well done. Well done. Let's call it well done.
Next up, we had the Gun Barrel Cobras and their Volvo wagon. It had a custom fuel injection setup. You may remember this car for its previous induction system we covered on a Lemons World episode. That was like 3 random different carburetors on a custom plenum. Now they've gone to science and technology in this new injection setup.
This might be too much science and technology for us.
Few phrases will make a veteran Lemons team's stomach drop quite like rookie team full of engineers, but it's not rocket science racing is a rookie team full of engineers who happen to work for Lockheed, and I think they figured that, hey, we're rocket engineers, we can make a Subaru work in an endurance race.
They could not.
Hellasweet was team We're Just Here for the SR and their Chevy Blazer. You may remember this team from a couple wrap-ups ago where they were the Boomer Schooner. They have completely re-themed just 2 races later with this. This, of course, is a John Denver theme, which is a natural for Colorado. But instead of doing John Denver specifically or his music, this is John Denver's custom tour jet. Oh, and it also had the GM sound of power.
Along with Denver staple Aaron Cole, we had a judging crew that included Chris and Chrissy from Three Pedal Mafia and Craig Ledbetter from Terminally Confused in the South. The Colorado racers welcomed this crew with some great bribes and a whole lot of booze. Really proud of the racers and the judges for having a good weekend. They doled out some great penalties all weekend. We saw lots of coloring, and they paid homage to John Denver as well.
I was expecting the Rocky Mountains to be a little rockier than this.
So I was expecting the Rocky Mountains to be a little rockier than this.
I was expecting the Rocky Mountains to be a little rockier than this.
I was thinking the same thing. That John Denver's full of man.
Racing Baguettes and their Hyundai Genesis took a disparaging remark we might have made about the Hyundai Genesis, and they owned it. We like that spirit, although their performance this race did serve as a reminder it's not yet the year 3000.
Now, we often do this. Last year at High Plains, Floggin' Again Racing showed up, and their theme was terrible, and we warned them, next time you'd better do better. And they came back this year with a great Ken Block tribute. Well done.
Theming is so much better.
And speaking of warning teams about improving themes, here is Soiled Suit Racing.
Black's not a theme! What the are you doing? Come on! Put some effort into something!
Hella Sweet was the Smell Town Express. Now, this is a very Colorado insider theme. They're from Greeley, which has a meat packing plant that makes the town smell like. And a quote from Judge Aaron, "No one from outside of Colorado will ever know what the hell this theme is except me." And I like that.
Car number 69.
Nice.
Crash Dummies and their Volvo 740 failed tech, but our chief tech inspector John Pagel was there, told them how to fix their car, and they did it. They ran a clean race all weekend with an okay theme and really good attitudes. Rookies following Pagel's instructions without complaining became a theme for the weekend. We will come back to that later.
Hella Sweet was Salty Thunder Racing in their 3-car effort. They had a Corvette, they had a Fiero, and a Pontiac 1000, which is just the Pontiac version of the Chevy Chevette. Each car had a different theme. In fact, each car arguably had more than one theme per car. The only one we could really make heads or tails of, so to speak, was the Fistful of Nickels Western theme on the Corvette. The other stuff was just some real themeception, insider joke, deep lemons cuts. Now, we thought all of this was great despite maybe not understanding it 100%. The point is, we deal with countless BMW teams who can't even put a theme on one car, and here is a 3-car team that had at least 4 themes spread across the 3 cars. That was hella sweet.
Why would you do that racing? Have a Chevette with a huge turbo on a Volvo engine. It is fun to watch, it is better to listen to, and it is still the same car they've been racing for years. Best yet, Team Captain Hank went out early in the race with his turbocharged Chevette in Class C and set the fast lap for the entire weekend, and then blew it up, as is their MO pretty much every weekend. Never get tired of it. Why would you do that? Well, because it's awesome.
Then we had Drunk in the Dark Racing. It's a Mitsubishi 3000 GT with words of warning, possibly to themselves, on the front of the car.
Nine Finger Drifters and their Toyota Corolla wagon turned up to this race, and of course this is Johan Samantha and Steve Kaeli and all of their miscreants who drive this terrible car. Now, it was different at this one because somehow Johan and Steve had finagled a sponsorship by Malort. Now, Malort is the most vile substance that is put in a bottle and sold as alcohol, so it kind of makes sense that Johan, world-renowned neurosurgeon, would be someone pushing this. They brought the hilarious Malort ads that have been circulating the internet. They were giving out shots in the evenings and capturing reaction videos. They pretty much tell the story.
I spilled brake fluid in my mouth, and it tasted better.
Now, sadly but terrible was CKT Racing. This is a team of alums from CU. Now, the whole CU experience in Lemons has had a checkered reliability past, and in this case, a checkered reliability present. Now, this time they had an E46 BMW. Everything down in the wheel zone was kind of finger tight. They broke a wheel early on, dragged it back in, put on a new wheel, sent it back out without checking anything to see if it was tight. The brake caliper fell off, washing machined around on the inside of the wheel, broke another one. They had to drag it in. It was but terrible.
Moving on to the trophies, Heroic Fix went to DAE Racing, and their story all weekend was that they showed up with their 944 completely fixed with all their problems by putting an Audi 1.8T in it. It did not work great, and they chalked it up to electrical gremlins, which is the way of saying it's an Audi. But they decided that the ECU was corroded, so they got another ECU, slapped it in, and the computer was learning all day and idled like complete ass. They were hopeless and tried a whole bunch of janky fixes, including advancing the timing by running a piece of cardboard through the cams. That seems like a completely logical thing to do. Somehow it worked, and the car ran most of Sunday and actually looked pretty decent.
I Got Screwed went to the vannball. Now, if you watched the Thunderhill wrap-up, you know that the vannball is a 2006 Dodge Caravan that started in the Midwest, drove on the street to Thunderhill, completed that race, and is now here at High Plains, and next weekend will be at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Now, the Caravan was running pretty well all weekend, but it was chewing through brakes, and on Sunday, they made the mistake of breaking one of their cardinal 5 rules, which was don't let Jack touch the car. We don't know what the deal is with Jack, but it's one of their 5 rules, and they broke it. Jack tried to jack up the car, he misplaced the jack, and broke a timing cover and ruined the rest of the race.
At least he didn't have to get to the East Coast immediately afterward. The event-specific award for this one was the Smells Like Rookie Spirit, which we gave to the 42 Hours of Melons. Now, we had 17 brand new teams at this race, and while the 42 Hours of Melons was not completely a rookie, their first race, they lasted about 7 minutes. So in what basically amounted to their very first race, they more or less dominated with a 4-cylinder E30. They started Sunday 4th overall, were completely clean all weekend. They bribed well, and we enjoyed their company. So Smells Like Rookie Spirit, 42 Hours of Melons.
Judge's choice went to Mofoco Racing and their Ford Focus. Now, team captain Adam and the rest of his gang have been racing this Focus for a long time. They rolled at Ginger Man last year, and ever since then, they've just been getting better and better. After the roll, they rethemed the car with the whole Pac-Man deal, and they're from Minnesota. They're super nice. No need to overthink this award. We just like being around these guys. Judge's choice.
And we've also been teased with a build they're bringing soon, and suffice to say, we're pretty excited about it. Organizer's choice went to Whiskey Plus Donuts. Like the Crash Dummies Volvo we mentioned earlier, this is a rookie team from Denver who showed up Friday with a very, very, very incomplete car. No fire suppression, no seat, no gauges, just a cage, which Tech Inspector John Pagel called immaculate because they bought the car with the cage already in it. Everything else they had to put in still. They did not pitch a fit like you would expect from BMW owners. They worked all night on Friday, got through tech on Saturday, and donated tents to the judges to help keep them dry. They are nice people with a BMW. That is exceedingly rare. We love their attitude. Whiskey Plus Donuts. Awesome.
Halloween Meets Gasoline, the $1,000 prize for the best theme, went to Hangar 13 Racing. They've got a Chevy Vega, and the Vega is the theme gift that keeps on giving. Last year they were Viva Las Vegas with a gambling theme. This time they went as various stages of Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction. Team captain Tom, he had the UC Santa Cruz shirt, the shorts, the flip-flops, went around all weekend with the briefcase, asking people to look inside. And for the paddock party on Saturday night, they made milkshakes.
The index of affluency went to Salty Thunder Racing and their Pontiac 1000, which, as we mentioned, is the Pontiac version of the Chevette. This is the third of the 3-car team, all badged as Pontiacs, by the way, including the Corvette, which was hell sweet. This was team captain Jeff Hanka's son, Reed, who built this car himself. Jeff gave him a little bit of advice here and there, but he built the car and ran the car, and it was completely stock and therefore goddamn slow on the track.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
The only thing close to as slow was the Dodge Caravan, but the Pontiac had the IOE locked up. As a bonus, team captain Jeff wanted to finish in the Fiero alongside his son at the Checker. Both broke down at the very end, and the teams pushed the father and son into the paddock together. That was a great moment, and that will take us to Lemons in a Nutshell.
Well, Lord, because tonight's the night you fight your dad.
Every second you don't subscribe or watch one of these videos, another Vega is sent to the crusher. won't you help us save Classic?